Yay! Just wow, I am so excited. I can't believe I've made it to 100k subscribers. We did it! It seems like just yesterday that I started posting on YouTube with no expectations that anything big would come from it, but here we are today. I'm so excited to have reached this milestone. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has subscribed, who watches my videos, who comments on my videos, who likes my videos. You all have helped me get here, and I wouldn't be here without your amazing support. Here's to the next 100k! Ganbei! So to celebrate getting to 100k, I wanted to go right back to the beginning and tell you guys the story of how I started making videos in the first place and this crazy journey that I've been on that's led me to where I sit right now. I cannot believe I'm about to share with you guys some of the first ever videos I made. I am about to cringe so hard. So I got my first taste of a social media following after I was a contestant on a Chinese reality show called the Chinese Bridge Competition, or Hanyiqiao for the Chinese speakers out there. Basically, it's just a competition that brings together Chinese language learners from all around the world who come to China to compete in this TV show to see whose Chinese language skills are the best. Well, spoiler alert, my Chinese language skills were not the best, but by some fluke or stroke of luck, I managed to make it into the top 15 contestants, which basically means that I got a bit of airtime. A producer suggested that I should start a Weibo account before the show started airing. Weibo is basically like the Facebook of China. It's been around for quite a while. So I did open an account, and by the time the show finished airing, I had like 1,000 or 2,000 followers there on my Weibo. Look, I didn't really know what to do with my Weibo at first. I was definitely no social media guru. I think one of my first posts is me remarking on the whiteness of my new shoes. Yeah, needless to say, the content was not fire. I wasn't doing any kind of influencing there and didn't really engage with the platform at all until a few years later. Flash forward to 2017, I went to Tsinghua University in Beijing, actually repping a Tsinghua hoodie today, and I went there using the scholarship I had won from the Chinese Bridge Competition for getting into the top 15 contestants. So that was very nice and handy. This is my room! Shit.
Nice!
Home sweet home.
Home sweet home. See the view?
Whoa. I was really determined to make the most of that year in China to see what kind of opportunities I could find for myself. I was feeling a bit lost, to be honest. At that stage, I had just graduated with a business degree. My friends were off starting jobs as investment bankers, lawyers, and management consultants, and I just wasn't feeling that pull towards a 9-to-5 corporate job. I thought, you know what, a year in China would be a great opportunity to just see where my life is going, just reassess. I was 25 years old and I felt like by now I should at least have some kind of direction or path. It was an extremely confusing time. For people out there watching this that have just finished their final year of school or university, there's just something that I want to say to you guys. I feel like there's this huge expectation for us to have our lives completely figured out by the time we finish school, to know what we want to do, where we want to go, who we want to be. Can I just say that that is completely unrealistic? How are we supposed to know what's best for ourselves as an 18-year-old when our lives are just beginning and there are so many amazing opportunities out there that we don't even know about yet? I mean, you don't even know yourself very well yet. I'm such a different person now to what I was at 18. Back in school, I was the sensible one in my friend group, the one obsessed with studying and getting straight A's to get into a good university and lead that, perfect corporate career. Now I'm the one gallivanting around the world as some kind of self-employed international hobo.
This is how you cycle with a mini skirt. You gotta wear a little loincloth.
Doing what I want, when I want, how I want. And looking back on it now, it's not so much that I changed, but more that I grew into myself as a person and figured out what I actually want, what I'm actually passionate about. Once I broke away from the pressures of society and from what I felt like I should want in life. So do not feel freaked out when you finish school and you have no idea what your path is. If you do know, you're one of the lucky few. If you had told me 10 years ago that I would be this Chinese-speaking, full-time world traveler, I would have laughed in your face. My best advice for you guys is to ride this crazy wave of life, take the opportunities as they come to you, and you'll end up exactly where you're meant to be. But that's the lesson that took me many years to learn, and I definitely didn't know it back then. So back at Tsinghua in those first few months, I spent way more time than I'd care to admit, wrapped up in hardcore fetal position or walking aimlessly around campus, freaking out about the fact that I was unemployed, 25, with no sense of direction in life.
These are my fairy lights. They're so pretty. my burrito. That's Gilmore Girls.
Meanwhile, my friends back at home were already settling down, finding apartments and making six-figure salaries. I'm like, what am I doing? What? I was freaking out. Meanwhile, one of my Chinese friends on campus suggested that I should start watching a Weibo channel called 外国人研究协会, or Why China, as they're known in the West. You may have heard of them, they're really, really big. Back in those days, they were just starting out, but they had quickly amassed like 1 or 2 million followers on their Weibo channel. Basically, it's a channel of Chinese-speaking foreigners who interview other foreigners living in China to discuss a whole range of topics. So essentially, it's a channel that shows Chinese people what foreigners living in China think of China. I love their channel so much that I actually felt compelled to send the head of the channel, Raz, or Gao Yao-se as he's known in China, a personal message on Weibo to tell him just how much I was enjoying their content. I definitely didn't expect to get a reply, that's for sure, but Raz got back to me and he invited me to be one of the street interviews for their next episode. So of course I said yes.
我很喜欢甄子丹，我觉得他的武术真棒，
这么牛逼啊，特牛逼，
不是特牛逼，就是特牛逼。
So I went, I had my interview. I think the topic for that week's episode was who is your favorite Chinese actor? I of course said Donnie Yen or Zheng Zidan because I am Ip Man's #1 fan, and I think I even showed off some of my Wing Chun skills.
咏春 fight 开始了。
I'd been taking Wing Chun lessons for like a year and a half at that point. Anyway, I noticed that after that video was released, my Weibo account started growing and continued growing as I was invited onto future episodes. And thanks to Raz and the team at 外国人研究协会, my channel became bigger and bigger. They encouraged me to make a video of my own with the promise that they would like it, which on Weibo, if you like something, it'll actually come up on your channel page. And so my video would have the chance to be seen by potentially 1 million or so people. So I started thinking about what kind of video I'd like to make, what kind of video creator I would want to be. At the time, I was really into health and fitness. Fun fact, for 3 years before I went to China, I was a cheerleader for the Australian Rugby League. So staying in shape was part of my daily regimen. Believe it or not, this is what I looked like just a few years ago. Oh, how times have changed. So I thought, you know what? Let's be a fitness vlogger. At the time, I didn't know of any other foreigner that was making fitness or exercise content in China in Chinese, directed towards a Chinese audience. So I thought, you know what? This could be quite big. So that was the birth of my first ever viral video, chopstick legs. I think it has something like 6 or 7 million views. I'm about to show it to you, but please be aware that it is so cringy I might die. So just a little background to this chopstick leg video. There is a concept in China known as 筷子腿 or chopstick legs, which is basically the concept that your legs are so thin they look like chopsticks. So I decided to make this fitness routine with absolutely zero actual fitness knowledge or qualifications, teaching people how to achieve these chopstick legs. As far as I'm aware, the only way to achieve legs as thin as chopsticks is either through genetics or by starving yourself. So, yeah. Get ready for the drop. Ready for this? Oh! Oh my gosh, look at us go! Yeah, get it, mama! Oh my god, this is so cringe. My Chinese was so good back then. 筷子腿? And then here we go again. And now I actually do the routine and it is, I can't show this to you guys. It's too awkward. So I continued making these cringy fitness videos well into 2017. Here's one I made about how to get a better butt. This is one I made with my friend Emily about how to do a workout with your best friend, and we just frolicked around the fields. It was so random. This is one I made with my friend Saul about how to do a workout in your apartment, which ultimately resulted in Saul breaking a bottle of his very expensive baijiu. Sorry, Saul. And many, many others that I will not show at this moment for fear of dying of cringe. So if you're sitting there at home watching this video and thinking about maybe making some videos of your own or starting your own YouTube channel, hopefully this has proven to you that you have to start somewhere. You're probably not going to be starting at the top of your game. So get out there, start experimenting, make content, make a fool of yourself. You can cringe about it later. Anyway, I eventually came to the realization that I loved food way too much to be an actual fitness vlogger. Also due to the fact that I had zero fitness qualifications. So I felt kind of dodgy about like giving fitness advice when I had no idea what I was talking about. But yeah, anyway, I determined that fitness vlogging wasn't the route for me. And in the best decision of my life, I decided to shift my focus from fitness to travel and lifestyle. That way I could eat as much as I want and not worry about the inevitable body shaming comments when my abs turned into the consistency of mashed potato. By this stage, I had about 20,000 followers on Weibo, as well as another 200,000 followers on other platforms in China I was using at the time. My channel continued to grow, and I actually started catching the attention of the Australian tourism industry, who saw an opportunity to promote their destinations in Australia through my platforms in China. Enter Amy, the influencer. After I finished my year at Tsinghua University, I spent most of 2018 doing sponsored trips around Australia, making content for my Chinese social media platforms. I got to see and experience some truly amazing things in this wonderful country that I get to call home.
I did it! Jumped over an aeroplane!
While also making enough money to support myself. I thought to myself, this is nice. Then there were some Australian travel companies who organized trips to China, and they got in contact with me to see if I could make some content for them about China, about traveling in China, to encourage more Australians to want to go to China. And believe it or not, this was the first time in my video creator history that I was making a video about China in English, and I loved it. It was a revelation. It was so much easier to express myself and to convey sarcasm and humor in my native language, and I just felt so much more comfortable. I also love making videos using my knowledge and love of China to show people a side of China that maybe they didn't know existed. So I felt like I was doing something really positive and meaningful and impactful, and it made me really, really happy. I also just really missed being in China and traveling there, so I started spending more time traveling to China, making content for both my platforms and for various clients. It was only about a year and a half ago that I started thinking about taking this content that I had made and posting it on YouTube to access a bigger Western audience and to make a bigger impact. Well, it grew much faster than I anticipated, and so I started making more frequent trips to China to get more content so that I could maintain this once a week posting schedule. I also loved YouTube because it was so much easier for a video to go viral. Fun fact, when you post on Weibo, only a percentage of your audience will see anything that you post. So to actually access your full subscriber base, you have to pay quite some money to access that. So on Weibo, I was spending so much money, but now YouTube, they pay me. To date, this is my most viral video on my channel, and as it turns out, also the cringiest.
什么鬼？
Maybe I should just exclusively make cringy videos. They seem to have gone quite well for me. So as you can tell by my channel name, Blondie in China, I post about China, but I find myself in the circumstances where I can't be in China, and I may not be able to be in China for quite some time. As it stands as of today, international travel may be off the cards until maybe next year, but I have to keep telling myself, it's okay. It's going to be okay. As I've seen in the journey to getting here, it's not been constant and consistent. It's been full of change. I've gone from being this freaked out, unemployed 25-year-old to a fitness vlogger, to a travel and lifestyle vlogger. I've gone from a focus on Chinese social media to Western social media. I've gone from traveling around Australia to almost exclusively traveling around China. There has been no constant. And in an ever-changing industry like social media, there never will be a constant. And actually, come to think about it, it's kind of come full circle. I'm currently unable to leave Australia. It's almost like the universe is telling me, Amy, you need to make more videos about Australia and what it's like to travel here. So I think I'm gonna start doing that. I also think I'm gonna start paying a bit more attention to my Chinese social media platforms. I've really been neglecting them these past years. So if you would like to follow me on Chinese social media, you can find me on Bilibili, Weibo, of course, Meipai, Douyin, Xigua, Shipin, pretty much the big ones under the username Amy Aimifan. So here we are, 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm so happy I got to tell you guys this story and share a little bit about my journey that led me to be here. Oh, and just one more thing, I have something very exciting happening in the next week or two. I'm starting a food fight. I'll tell you more about it next week, but I need some help picking teams. I was thinking team dumpling versus team noodle, but What do you guys think? Do you like those teams or do you have a better suggestion? Let me know in the comments below. Again, thank you for the amazing support, for the lovely comments on my videos that always put a smile on my face. I love you all very, very much. Let's see where the next 100K takes us. Cheers.